Hello and welcome to another Unity tutorial. This one I'm going to be covering how to navigate UI using your mouse, right? Ooh, we can see the mouse, nice and easy, but also using the keyboard. So if I use the arrow keys on my keyboard, I am now navigating this UI. So let's get right on into it. So I've removed all logic from my UI here in this scene, and currently I cannot navigate with my arrow keys or gamepad right now. I can still use the mouse. Actually, no, I can't even do that. And so let's show you the very first thing you need to make sure you have in order for you to even be able to interact with the UI. So typically this will happen automatically when you add a UI element. But if you find your UI is not working, look in your scene and see, do you have an event system? If you don't, you're going to go to UI and event system. Now, by default, I think just prior to Unity 6, so this is a Unity 2022, when you add the event system, it's still using, by default, it wants to use the legacy input system, but it'll detect if you're using the new input system, which I do recommend everybody use the new input system at this point, especially if you're starting new. So if you see this message, just click it and it'll automatically set it up to work with the new input system, and it's going to use the default input action set that came with the new input system. So if we play again, you can now see that we are able to interact with the UI. But if I'm not clicking on anything, I still can't navigate with the keyboard or with a gamepad. If I click a UI element, I might be able to. Yes. So if I click a UI element, let me get my mouse out of the way. Once I have something selected, then the event system knows how to navigate with the gamepad or with a keyboard navigation. But you don't want the player to have to click on an element first to then be able to navigate with a gamepad or keyboard, because maybe they don't have access to a mouse if they're playing on a console, or that would be frustrating anyways, having to switch back and forth. So there's two different things you need to keep in mind when you need to tell the event system that something is selected. If your UI that you're working with is already in the scene with the event system, and it's going to be the first thing you want the player to interact with, like let's say the title screen of your game, then you can just go to the event system and drag something into first selected. So let me find my panel here. Let me find my tutorial button. Can I please click my tutorial button? There we go. So that's my tutorial button. If I go to the event system, look where it says first selected. So I can take my button tutorial, drag it into first selected, and we'll hit play again. All right, on play, you can now see that my tutorial button is already in its selected state, and I can go ahead and navigate with the keyboard, or if I had my joystick or my gamepad, I could use it to navigate as well. Now, keep in mind, that does require you have an input actions asset that has those things set up. So if you're using the default input actions, it's already got basic UI navigation stuff here, and so it's already going to help you navigate those. It's already going to be built automatically. But if you create a new actions asset from scratch, these pre-built ones aren't going to already be there, so you'd have to add those manually. I almost always start from a pre-built input action set, either these default ones, or if I'm working with XR, I'll use the XR default ones and then just build off those. So how does that just work automatically? Well, if we look at our tutorial button, any UI element will have a navigation section. And by default, like if I make a new UI button here, by default, you'll see the navigation is set to automatic. And you should see some gizmos in the scene. Oh, you have to click visualize. You can see where it thinks this button should navigate to. It's now in the right place in this grid layout. But you can see if you go down, it's going to navigate to this Discord button. If you go right, it's going to navigate to exit game. If you go up, it's going to go leave match. It doesn't look like it's doing anything left, so that's nice. But sometimes you have to be careful because you might have layered UI elements. Like in our game, this settings pop-up is actually a pop-up. It gets created at runtime, but there's other UI from the main menu behind it. So we don't want this set to automatic. For that instance, we use explicit. When you set explicit, you can put exactly where you want that button to navigate to, or if it was like an input field, where you want that input field to navigate to. Okay, so we covered how to tell the event system which button or UI element should be first selected. But what if we can't do that? What if the settings panel isn't here? and we hit play. So it's not here. Our event system doesn't know what to first select. The settings menu gets activated. I would have no problem clicking with the mouse, but with the keyboard, I'm stuck. I can't control with the keyboard. I can't control with my gamepad at this point. So what do we do? So it's actually pretty straightforward, really. You just have to tell the event system. So when the settings panel gets activated, tell the event system, hey, set this as the selected game object. So I'm going to show you this two different ways. So if you've been with the channel for a while, you know that I started in PlayMaker. So I'll show you how to do PlayMaker, and then we'll also show you how to do it in C# for my C# friends. In PlayMaker, this should be really fast. So just on my settings game object, which is deactivated right now, I am going to add an FSM, and then I'm going to find the action UI SetSelectedGameObject. And then just, I'm going to use my tutorial button again. And so the name of this doesn't mention the event system, but that's what it's doing. It's telling the event system to set this as the selected game object. In fact, if we inspect the script that creates this action, so this will explain it for my PlayMaker folks, and this is probably enough for you C# folks to figure out what's going on here, is you're just telling the event system, the current one, to set the selected game object to this game object. Ignore this .value if you're using C#. This .value is how the PlayMaker FSM game object gets converted into a real game object to be used here. So yeah, PlayMaker users, it's as easy as what you saw here in my FSM. And C# users, you just need to use this line of code here. Call this method event system current set selected game object and just give it the game object. So we will test this out. Let's hit play. And so now, however you're activating that panel, if I now activate my settings panel, you'll see it's activated and it tells the event system that this button tutorial should now be the selected game object. It doesn't show up here in the inspector. I wonder if if I show debug, will it do it? Let's look. Debug, does it say what the currently selected one is? Yeah, right there. Cool. Current selected. All right, so you can see that there. But you might be confused. You're like, well, I thought we were using first selected. So again, that's only when the event system becomes active, what would be its first selected object. But that's not what we're using. We're not using that field. We're telling it what the currently selected one is. And now I can, well, I would be able to come over here and click and navigate. But since the game window wasn't in focus, I'm not able to move it around because I was clicked over here. But if we want to deactivate and reactivate, yeah, I can't actually maneuver the keyboard because this is in focus over here. That's where I clicked my mouse, but it works. Just to prove that it does work, to give me a chance to actually click in the game window to make the game window focused after I activate it in the inspector, we can just see, I'm just gonna put a 2-second wait time here, and then it'll tell the event system. So if I go ahead and hit play now, okay, let's activate the settings panel, come over here, I'm clicking so that the game panel is active, and now it's made the tutorial button, the selected game object, you can see I can activate it. And I can navigate all the UI with my keyboard and with my gamepad. Now, if you're curious what this project is that I'm actually working in, it's actually a game that's being released on Steam. It'll be on Next Fest in February, and the demo will be available on January 26th. I'll put the link in the chat, but it is a 2D party game where you fly around a cyberpunk city with a jetpack where you are buying and selling wonderful products such as computer chips, mushrooms, and weed. And you can play with your friends, but watch out for the drones if you're carrying an illegal amount of product, and you can interact with your friends using EMP attacks, and you can communicate using the emotes. I encourage you to check it out. Go wishlist it. Watch out for the demo coming out soon. And thank you for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.